I'm sure you will.
Any new injuries apart from obviously both the goalkeepers?
No, that's enough, basically. No, luckily there aren't any new ones.
How are they? What's the likely?
Well, they're making very good progress, but of course too early after just a week for them to have made this game. But we're working hard on them, and I don't know, there's no time scale. You don't get time scales from your medical department on muscle strains because they can't be 100% certain when the strain's going to be all cleared up and they're ready again to play. But we're working hard on it, so we'll take it week by week and we'll see if we can get them fit for next week, and if not, we'll have to work for the week after.
And am I right in thinking you're close to securing a loan deal for Luke Perry?
Yeah, that's been going on for some while, that one. It's a young goalkeeper that when Doug Freeman was doing some scouting work in South America, he came across this goalkeeper and liked the look of him, and there was talk then about him maybe coming out here and spending some time with us, initially on loan, so we could have a look at him. And it's taken, strangely enough, this amount of time to bring that about. So it's quite a coincidence in a way that it's coincided with the injuries to the two goalkeepers. The two events are in no way aligned, other than it's taken us a time to get the loan deal with his club in South America sorted out, and we're hopeful now that we'll be able to bring him here.
But not before the weekend, presumably? No.
There's never been a question of that.
And does that mean Speroni's likely to start against Liverpool then?
Yes. I hope he does. He's the one we've got.
Any concern?
And once he's a good goalkeeper too, so we're very fortunate. We're much more fortunate than many clubs that to have a goalkeeper of his quality and his experience to go in as the third goalkeeper. That's pretty fortunate. Most clubs these days, they have two goalkeepers and the third one is often a young guy who has got very little experience. We've got a man who's played over 400 times for the Palace and is still in very good shape.
He's not low played since December 2017.
No.
Any concerns that, obviously you don't have much choice, but any concern about his lack of game time, match practice?
Well, that happens with goalkeepers, unfortunately. It happens even with second goalkeepers. Often if they're behind a goalkeeper who's buttoned down his position and is playing week after week, and we've got lots and lots of examples of that. The Czechs and the Schmeichels and these guys in the past, they hardly ever missed a game. So if you happen to be the second goalkeeper behind them, the chances are that when you get your chance, people are going to say, well, he hasn't played for a long period of time. But that doesn't bother me particularly. I mean, Julian is a very, very active goalkeeper, and certainly in our training sessions, I don't notice any difference in him now than I did a year ago when he played. But it's a tough ask, there's no question of that, and in an ideal world you would not be thrusting him into this game, you'd be hopefully easing him into a game, but we have no choice, and I'm happy that we've got him.
How's he taken to the challenge?
Oh, he's looking forward to it. I mean, Julian's a match player. He has confidence in himself. He knows he's a good goalkeeper. He's got great pride in what he's achieved as a goalkeeper, in particular at this club where he is an absolute legend in every respect. So I think he's happy to have got the chance, and I'm pretty sure he'll be working very hard to make certain that he stays in contention, even when the other two become fit again.
And in terms of the transfer window, are you expecting to bring anyone else in now?
I'm not expecting. We've got 2 more weeks like everybody else, and the work will continue to see if there's any possibilities out there that suit us. So nothing changes in that respect. But to say I'm expecting it, then I would have to have a definite name in the frame who's on the verge of signing, and that certainly is not the case. Is
the striker still your main priority?
Yes, we feel that we need to improve in that area of the field, so we would ideally like another midfield player and a striker, because our squad has become remarkably small. We are down to 18 outfield players, because we've let, since the summer, we've let 8 players go, and in this particular transfer window we've let 5 players go, and possibly a 6th. So that's a lot of players to lose, albeit that they're not players that have been featuring regularly in the team. But to take that many players out of your squad, it leaves us somewhat bare on the ground.
And are you looking at loan deals only, or is there a possibility you could buy it as well?
At the moment, there's no talk of us buying, but things can change even in that respect between now and then. But at the moment, there's been no talk of buying a player.
And can I just get your thoughts on Marcelo Bielsa's revelations this week? What did you make of it all?
Well, the same as what everyone else makes of it, I suppose. I mean, you don't spy on other people. That's the bottom line. You don't spy on governments. You don't spy during times of warfare. Spying is a word that's basically one should be very wary of using, because it's such a negative word. It's got such negative undertones, and how there is even any suggestion that spying on someone who does not want you to be spying on them, who does not want you to be watching what they're doing, how that can even be considered as justifiable is amazing to me. I thought we had situations in this country as well where we talked about bringing the game into disrepute. Sneaking into other people's training grounds to see what they're doing and see what team they're going to play against you, and to get advantages like that, for me, I just do not understand it at all, and I expect the governing bodies to do something about it.
Have you come across it before in your career?
No.
Have you ever suspected that maybe somebody's watching a training?
Well, of course. Of course, I'm not naive, and especially with national teams, you're always aware that when you do the training session the day before the game at the stadium, it's very difficult to monitor a stadium, so you're always aware that there could be some people from the opposition watching on. I'm not saying that I don't understand or don't realise that spying goes on in the world. I think it goes on in all walks of life. From what I can understand, in the commercial world, it's a major problem for companies that other companies are spying on what they're doing and trying to take advantage from it. The thing I don't understand is how anyone could even suggest for 1 minute that it's a reasonable thing to do, and that we, in the game of football, should accept it, that this is something which, when it happens to you, you should congratulate the other manager on doing his preparation work, as if to say we don't do preparation work on our teams. So for me, I don't understand it at all. I don't understand how it can even be suggested that it's anything other than wrong.
What do you think should happen to Bielsa?
Oh, that's nothing. No, I'm not prepared to go into that. This is a question for the authorities. It's being dealt with. I guess we have a football association. There's a football league and a Premier League. It's for these people to decide what they think should be done. I'm just answering your question. What do I think about it? I find it totally impossible to understand, and totally impossible to understand how people can suggest in any way whatsoever that it's the thing to do.
Okay.
I guess that answers the question.
It does.
Oh, okay, good.
Emma from the BBC.
Hello, Roy.
Hi.
How do you prepare to play Liverpool at Anfield?
Well, playing them at Anfield or playing them here, that doesn't make a vast difference in terms of our preparation, because we're playing the same 11 players, and obviously away games are often harder to get results in than home games, but that isn't always the case either. And you prepare by making certain that you do as much research and homework you can do on the team, so that you can prepare your players for what they're likely to meet, both in the attacking phase, defensive phase and the set play phase. And you do that, of course, by using all the video evidence that we have, and also using the knowledge that you have of the players, many of whom, of course, have been in the league for a long time and are players that we know. And then you use your week's training to try and make certain that any tactical considerations that you think are going to be particularly important in the game, if you're going to get a result from the game, you rehearse them on the field of play, as well as in your pre-match meetings where you're presenting the team, making certain that the players, when they go on the field, know as much as possible about the opposition and what they're likely to come across, and that they will then feel as ready as they possibly can be to deal with it.
So what you know about Liverpool in that case is they have very talented players and they're playing particularly well at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And the unfortunate thing in this league is that goes quite often for the team you're meeting on a Saturday or Sunday. So it's nothing new for us to be prepared for a game where we have enormous respect for the opposition and enormous respect for the season they're having and the way they're playing. It's nothing new for us, and it's part and parcel of being in the Premier League. And if you're in the second half of the table rather than the first half of the table, you know you face an uphill battle when you meet teams of Liverpool's calibre.
How much confidence, though, can you take into this match, knowing that you beat Manchester City at the Etihad not that long ago?
You're always going to win some games during the course of a season. I think to say yes, I took a lot of confidence from that. I'd have needed to have played that game up there and dominated it from start to finish, and really just driven Manchester City out of sight. That wasn't the case. We scored very good goals and defended well against a team that had the lion's share of the play. I would think that's the sort of task that we need to prepare ourselves for again, because it would surprise me if Liverpool, the way they're playing, don't have the lion's share of possession and be the dominant force in the game. So we have to work hard like we did at Manchester United before the Man City game to make certain that we defend well and that we are then ready to take our chances and ready when we have the ball to try and exploit any space that maybe Liverpool have left because they're going forward more than we are.
Crystal Palace do have a quite good record at Anfield. I think they might be the last top flight team, Premier League team, to beat them at home. And you, as a manager, have a good record as the visiting manager to Anfield. I don't know if you think that has any bearing at all on...
No, I don't think it has any bearing. I've said this on many occasions. I think that you can learn lessons from history, but the fact that you've had some success historically doesn't give you the right to have any future success. And I can remember a couple of games at Liverpool where I've gone with other teams and done okay, but I couldn't give you my exact record as a visiting manager at Liverpool. I'm not aware of what that is, because I've got to say that my record as a visiting manager or my past record playing various clubs, it never seems to have any real effect upon me in the present day. This is the current Liverpool team playing the current Crystal Palace team. Injuries to both teams which will affect them to some extent, and of course forms of both teams which affect to some extent. So each game is very much a new game. So I think those statistics that you give me, they're nothing more really than filling up the newspapers or filling up the airtime and giving people something to talk about. But I don't get any feeling that, well, because my last game at Liverpool was a successful one, this is going to be like that. We'll need to play for it, unfortunately.
How disappointed were you that you couldn't bring Dominic Solanke here this month?
I've spoken about that. It was a decision that was made by the club. We pursued him to the extent that we thought we could pursue him, but at the end the club made the decision that it wasn't possible for us to do the transfer deal, and I accepted it. So there's nothing more to say on that subject.
Can you give us an insight into how difficult it is for you, what the January transfer window is like? Are you a fan of it?
I don't know whether I'm a fan of it or not. I mean, I think I'm too pragmatic to decide whether I'm a fan or not. It is what it is. We have decided that the transfer business in this country will be done at the end of the season for a period of time, and again in January. So at the start of the season, I knew that was going to be the case. So I've been prepared for it, and as have everyone else at the club, Doug Freedman, the chairman, everyone who deals within the transfer market, and they work to do the best they can within the current situation.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the broadcast section.